Take the critics and your fear. There's no easy way to hear. And all the memories you love to bring, with all the things that you hate to scream. So tell me, hollow on the inside, there's no trying to hide from this monster inside me. So if you try to criticize me,
Nick Chubb still has not signed anywhere. Mary Kay, I believe it was, came out with a report that he will sign somewhere after the draft. And by the sounds of it, he will sign back. But, of course, it's not a guarantee. Things can come up in between then. And there's a lot of question marks around this Browns running back group. So, Derek, I know that we both know our answer already, but should we re-sign Nick Chubb?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's really no debate, in my opinion. And I know people will look at it and say, oh, you got to be realistic because Nick Chubb has completely blown out his knee twice. And yeah, he didn't look the same last year. But also, he got rushed back. He got rushed back to a 3-win football team. And I don't believe that it's fair to judge Nick Chubb based on last season. I refuse to believe that that is a fair assessment. Now, Tristan, I talked about it with Jerome Baker on the defensive side of the ball, but Nick Chubb is the heart, soul, and just oil of the Cleveland Browns. And I don't really care if Nick Chubb is half of what he was. If you have the ability to do it, bring him back. Tristan, the Browns have Jerome Ford on the last year of his contract. That ain't good enough. It's not good enough. And I'm of the belief that the Browns absolutely need to prioritize the running back position in this draft. Tristan, last year, we were talking about the draft. We were talking about prospects. And what did I say? I said, well, I'd like us to draft a running back, but next year is way deeper, and you can go get your running back next year. Well, it's next year. It's here. How quickly time flies. And now's the time to cash that check. Go get you running back. You went through the whole Watson offense and that whole disaster. You're going back to your bread and butter. And to do that, you need a run game. And I'm sorry, Jerome Ford can't be your run game. Go get your guy. Go get your guy. I don't care who it is, but the Browns need to put a priority. And I know we have 33 and 67. Tristan, if I was Andrew Berry, I'd be looking to move up from 67. I think that's a spot that you can get up and still get one of those guys. I don't necessarily know if somebody falls to us at 67. I don't have a whole lot of faith in that. So to me, Tristan, you have extra picks. We have 2 third-round picks. We have 2 fifth, 6th-round picks, something. I don't know. But we have extra capital to work with. Bottom line. And if we're going to do what has been preached and what has been talked about this entire offseason, you got to go get the most important piece of that offense. And Tristan, to go back to what we just talked about, Tevin Jenkins, run defender. Wyatt Teller, run defender. Works best in the run game. And
run blockers, yeah.
Blockers, yes. Sorry, jeez. It's been a while. So you have to go out and prioritize the run game. And again, I'm not trying to hate on Jerome Ford, but Tristan, I cannot go into the season knowing this is the offense that we're going to run and say, yep, Jerome Ford, that's my bell cow back. No. To me, Tristan, you go out, you get, obviously Gentry's probably not Amari Hampton, probably not. He's probably going to be a first rounder. But Quinshawn, Travion, Caleb Johnson in particular is the one that I have circled for the Browns that I think would be a great fit. And I think he's realistic. But bottom line, there is a long list of names at the running back position. It is the deepest spot in this draft. And when you're a team like the Browns that utilizes the running back position as much as we do, you got to go get them. You got to go get them. And to tie this all back into a bow, who better to teach the next Nick Chubb than Nick Chubb? That's what you want. But if you don't, you're going to have a lot of the fan base pissed, rightfully so, and you're basically going to be throwing your rookie into the fire day one. So, I get it. And the longer this goes on, yes, it helps the Browns because the Nick doesn't necessarily have the market. But at the end of the day, Tristan, it's dangerous. Free agency is dangerous. When you just let your pieces out there, man, that's like going on a walk with your dog without a leash. It's like he might run away and pick a new home. You just hope he stays by your side. Like, shoot. So I don't know. Yeah, the Browns should absolutely re-sign Nick Chubb. I do think it's going to be after the draft. I think we're going to grab a running back and then we're going to sign Chubb. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah. I also look at like I look at it and I say this, like I do agree. Absolutely, Browns have to get a running back, and it has to be within the first 3 rounds, ideally trading up from 67. But who knows? Maybe at round 2, you find a guy that falls. Like if Omari and Hampton ends up falling, maybe. Although that's if we have the pick, but that's something we'll definitely talk about a little bit later. Yeah, this is a very, very it's a very big need. And when it comes to Nick Chubb specifically, we absolutely need to bring him back. It's not even a question. At a minimum, right? You owe it to him because he's been a warrior for us for so long. If you have to overpay anybody on this team, overpay Nick Chubb. Nobody will care. No fan will care that Nick Chubb is making $3 million above market value or whatever. Like, nobody's really going to care. Because Nick Chubb, ultimately, he is the Cleveland Browns. Like, he's the heart and soul of this team. We got to bring him back. And I have a feeling Nick Chubb next season, I think he's going to have a great year. I personally do. I am not one to doubt that man. I know how hard he works. I know how talented he is. I'm not going to be the one to doubt him. At the same time, I think we should bring him back, and I do think we should invest in a younger back. Like you said, who better to teach the next Nick Chubb than Nick Chubb? And I would also take it one step further. If you don't re-sign Nick Chubb and you draft somebody, that's big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Even though Nick Chubb didn't have a great year last year, he's been a warrior for us, and the fans still view him in a completely different way. Give that rookie some protection. Give him somebody to learn from. Bring Nick Chubb back. It's as simple as that. And at a minimum with Nick Chubb, you at least have a guy who can be great in short yardage situations. Mm-hmm. Similar to how it was towards the end of Kareem Hunt's peak here in Cleveland. Wasn't the best when it came to finding the gaps and getting downfield and breakaway speed. But he was great in short yardage, and that's all we needed because we had Nick Chubb. So, like, I really think that it's crucial for the Browns to go out and get Nick Chubb. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you said it. Why, out of all the franchises in the NFL, for some reason the Cleveland Browns have done a piss poor job of being loyal to their guys, right? And I know that's tough to say after Myles Garrett just got highest paid defensive end in football, or highest paid non-quarterback actually in football. But Tristan, we've had some guys on this team that haven't necessarily been all-world, like superstar, well-known players, but they were the heart and soul of the team, right? And to me, I think back to like Hollywood Higgins, right? That's a guy that's a third receiver, fourth receiver, but on the Browns, that was our guy, right? Hollywood retired to Brown. Christian Kirksey, they actually retired the same time. That's crazy. But Christian Kirksey, right? At one time, he was really good, but he kind of fizzled out back half of his career. But he was a Cleveland Brown. And there's other prime examples, but at the end of the day, this dude, since 2018, has been the lifeblood of your franchise. A franchise that went through one of the most controversial events in all of sports. And he carried the team on his back through it all. And Tristan, the last point that I'll make here, the Browns have to sell tickets. They have to sell tickets. And the only way that you can really get life back into this fan base is to have stability, because there's been nothing but complete chaos. And Nick Chubb has been the one bit of stability that this franchise has had. Now, when he got hurt, everything went downhill. Everything went downhill. And the reality is, you cannot replace someone of the character of Nick Chubb. He is quite literally a one-of-a-kind player. When's the last time that you saw somebody who was at one point, I'm not even going to debate it, at one point the best running back in all of football, who doesn't talk, doesn't chirp back, doesn't even celebrate? He's just a prime example of lead by example. When's the last time we've seen that? A guy that when he was drafted was not recognized in the airport comes in and he's a superstar. Best running back since Jim Brown. Nick Chubb, bro. And you're out there just messing around like, oh, well, we don't need to bring him back and whatever. That's all fine and good. I get it. Players get old. People get injured. That's great. Whatever. But you can get them on pennies on the dollar. You can get them dirt cheap. I'm not asking for a 10-year contract, Tristan. I'm asking for a 1 year. Give me one more year while we find the future. That's all we need. That is all we need. So it'll be a critical mistake, I think, if the Browns don't re-sign Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I completely agree. In terms of the outlook of this room, we kind of touched on it a bit already. It is going to be built through this year's draft. Obviously, there's some big names near the top that have been discussed quite quite a bit. Derek, of those names that you had picked out, which one for you do you think stands out the most?
Are you saying who do I want the most or who do I think?
Let's say both.
Okay.
Let's say both.
So, who do I want the most? I want Quinshad Judkins. I think his style would fit this team. He's a more physical back. Trevion's a more home run hitter. I think this team needs a running back that can get you 6, 7, 5, 10 yards a pop, not necessarily the 1, 2, 60. That's all fun, but we need consistency. I think Judkins would be a great fit. Amarian Hampton, I think, is going to be an absolute steal. The way that he runs with patience is very unique. Le'Veon Bell made his bread and butter on patience. And it's a tough thing to do when you're running back in the NFL, when you got guys just coming at you every way possible. But I think, I don't know, man. It's tough because it's literally just pick what you like the most. Like, there's all different types of running backs in this draft. Now, who do I think? I think it's Caleb Johnson. I think Caleb Johnson, out of this group, is probably going to be the one that slips through the cracks a little bit more than the others. And I think he fits this team perfectly. This is an Iowa running back. I don't know when the last time you watched Iowa was, but they run the damn ball. Newsflash, the Browns are going to run the damn ball again. So why not go get a running back that is used to the workload, a guy who he fits. He fits. And I think it's just a good pairing. You know, and like I mentioned before, you have 67. Does he last till 67? I don't know. We'll see. But you have the ammo to move up a little bit, and that's where I would pull the trigger. Tristan, the running back class this year is insane. But of the group, who's your favorite, and who do you think?
So I don't want to piggyback off you, but I am. I do really like Quinshon Judkins. I think that he is a fantastic back, and obviously I know I can hear it already, Ohio State bias, but joke's on you guys. I'm not specifically an Ohio State fan. I don't really have a college football team, but yeah, I love the way he runs. I love his attitude, and I don't know, man. I think that when it comes to replacing Nick Chubb eventually, hopefully it's not this year. That would be crazy to ask of a rookie. But when it comes to replacing Nick Chubb, I think he's capable of doing it. I think he's immensely talented, and yeah, I think that he's probably the guy for me, at least. As long as if we take one, that's where I'm at. That's personally like what I think we need to do. We absolutely need to draft a quarterback. Sorry, not quarterback, running back. And it's not even a question. It has to be in the second or third round. You cannot expect to pick up somebody in the fourth or fifth round that ends up being your guy of the future. It's a deep class, but you cannot rely on a miracle.
Yeah, I completely agree. Listen, there's guys that I love, and I know people get caught up in like the Scattaboo. You know, he's fun, and that's all well and good. You know, I'm not opposed to drafting two. Like, I think the Browns need to seriously put a lot of time, thought, and effort into the running back room. But I completely agree with you in the sense they need to make it a priority. Like, I definitely think third round is a sweet spot. I think third round is the sweet spot where, you know, you're going to have the top level talent that's going to slip into the second. This would be a good transition here. What the Browns will do at 33, who knows? We'll talk about that here in a second. But they have to go out and get one of the top, I would say, 5 running backs. And I know to some people you're like, 5? Well, I got news for you, pal. The 5th best running back in this draft is the 2nd or 1st best running back in other drafts. That's just how it is. Yeah. But, you know, there's a lot to figure out.